You know, I never thought I'd see the day when a blizzard would actually hand me the upper hand over Brenda Carmichael, the self-appointed queen of Meadowbrook Heights. Life's got a wicked sense of humor, I guess, because sometimes the very thing that knocks you down is what lets you finally stand up and swing back. My name's William Ortega, and 3 years living in this picture-perfect suburb outside Rochester, New York, had taught me one thing. It's not the house that'll break you. It's the people running the show. Now, I loved my house. A classic 2-story colonial big enough yard for my dog, and a garage where my truck actually fit. But with Brenda running the HOA every morning felt like waking up in some weird reality show where the rules changed depending on how cranky she was when her feet hit the floor. The trouble started in January, right after 18 inches of snow hammered us overnight. Rochester winters, they're not for the faint of heart. That Tuesday, I rolled out of bed at 5:30 a.m., looked outside and let out a groan you probably heard across the block. My driveway looked like one of those untouched slopes you see in ski magazines. The mailbox was just a lump in the white. I layered up, pulled on my boots, and made my way to the garage. Rules said you had 24 hours after the snow stopped to get everything cleared, driveways, walkways, you name it. According to my weather app, that gave me till 4 the next morning. Should have been plenty of time. In theory. Of course, my snowblower had other ideas. Pulled the cord once, nothing. Twice. 30 times. Just sputtering, mocking me. Checked the gas, checked the plug. Everything looked right. It just refused. By the time the clock said 7:30, I was sweating through 3 layers, 15 degrees or not, and staring down a full day of hand shoveling. No repair shops could send anybody before Thursday. So it was just me, a shovel, and a lot of cursing under my breath. I figured I'd start with the walkway. At least keep the path to the door clear, try to stay optimistic. I'd been at it maybe 2 hours when I heard boots crunching behind me. I didn't even have to turn to know who it was. Brenda, wrapped in her signature puffy purple coat, clipboard clutched like it was the nuclear codes. She had that haircut, you know, the one where it's short in the back, swooping around the face, dyed a kind of aggressive blonde. HOA President Starter Pack. William, she called out, honey dripping off every word. Just a friendly reminder, the bylaws say all snow has to be cleared within 24 hours. I know, Brenda, I said, leaning on my shovel, trying not to sound like I was already on edge. The snow stopped at 4. I've got until 4 tomorrow. I'm working on it. Well, some folks finished by 6 this morning. Just wanted to make sure you were aware, she said, jotting a note. Good for them. Their snowblowers probably work. She pursed her lips that way she does. Equipment failure's not an excuse for non-compliance. Maybe next time keep a backup plan. And with that, she fake smiled, spun on her heel, and disappeared back into HOA land. That's just how it was with Brenda. My grass was too long by half an inch. Fine. Garbage cans visible from the street for 15 minutes too long. Fine. Car parked the wrong way for a single night. Fine. In 3 years, I'd shelled out nearly $3,000 to her community standards. That day, I shoveled for another 4 hours, stopping every half hour because my back felt like it might just give up. Neighbors had their driveways clear by noon, their snowblowers humming, mine a lump in the garage. I felt like the bum of the block even though I'd barely stopped for air. Took a break around 2, made a sandwich, tried to get feeling back in my hands. My phone buzzed. Marcus, buddy of mine from a couple streets over. Dude, you finished Brenda's on the warpath. He said she'd fined the Johnsons for snow on their roof. Not a joke. $200 for roof snow. I didn't even bother to check if that was real. I just shook my head, ate my sandwich, and got back out there. The sun was going down when I finally tossed the last shovel of snow. 12 hours start to finish, and I still had 11 hours left before the deadline. I was proud and exhausted. I barely made it to the couch before passing out. Next morning, there's an envelope jammed in my door. HOA logo. My heart sank. Opened it up, $500 fine for failure to maintain timely snow removal, resulting in safety hazard and aesthetic decline. I read it 3 times, feeling my blood pressure spike each round. I'd cleared everything in time, did everything right. I called the HOA office, got voicemail, left a message clear and calm, or as calm as I could fake. No call back. Not that day, not the next. Friday, I marched into the HOA office, my self-notice in hand. Brenda was there, fake smile, locked and loaded. I need to talk about this fine. William, hello, what seems to be the problem? I cleared the snow. On time. $500 for what? She checked her computer, acting like she needed to look it up. While you did technically clear your snow, several residents complained your property looked unsightly for most of Tuesday. That's not community standard. That's not in the bylaws. The bylaws say 24 hours. She pointed at her screen. There's a general clause about community aesthetics at all times. Section 12, subsection 4. I was out there all day because my snowblower broke. I did everything by the book. Again, equipment failure's not an excuse. She shrugged. You can appeal to the board. Next meeting's in 3 weeks. But the fine's due in 30 days. I left fuming, wrote an appeal letter that night, quoted every bylaw, time-stamped everything. Waited. Shoveled more snow, always borrowing a neighbor's snowblower just to be sure. When the board meeting finally came, I was early, sitting in the back. 5 board members. Brenda, of course, with her tight smile. Todd, the VP, bald and always agreeing with Brenda. Susan, who never spoke. Michael, the secretary, uncomfortable in his own skin. And Patricia, the at-large member, the only one who'd ever questioned Brenda out loud. The meeting was a snooze until appeals. Brenda called my name. I walked up, read my timeline, explained my case. She kept pushing this community standard nonsense as if it mattered more than what was actually written. Patricia asked to hear the exact bylaw. Michael read it out. All driveways and walkways cleared within 24 hours. No mention of timely or fastest on the block. Patricia pushed, Brenda dug in and on and on. In the end, they voted. 3-2 fine stood. I paid the next day, didn't want late fees, didn't want more grief. But after that, Brenda was on a roll. Porch light burned out for 3 days, $50. Garbage can out past $10, $100. My car's tire on the grass for one morning, $75. In a month, I paid $800 in fines. Then the forecast showed another big storm coming, bigger than the first. I had my snowblower fixed and ready. But right in the middle of the blizzard, 8 p.m., Brenda knocked on my door. She was out in the swirling snow, reminding me the 24-hour clock starts the moment the snow stops. I yelled back through the wind, I know the rules, Brenda. She tramped back to her car, looking like the world's most determined mall cop. When the snow stopped Friday morning, I got to work. 30 inches this time, but at least the snowblower worked. While I was clearing, I noticed a depression along the fence, never paid it much mind before. Scraped off the snow, found a metal grate, turned out to be ventilation for the crawlspace under the community center. And let me tell you, standing there, frozen breath curling in the air, I had a thought, one of those sneaky, justified thoughts that life just hands you sometimes. So after clearing my own stuff, I used the snowblower to pile every bit of extra snow right on top of that grate. Built a mountain 4 feet high, 10 feet wide, knowing the forecast called for warm weather all week. That snow was going to melt, and every drop was headed right under Brenda's precious HOA office. Couple days later, temperatures climbed, the pile shrank, and by Monday, water was running across my lawn straight into that grate. Tuesday, Marcus texted, dude, the community center is flooded. Brenda is losing her mind. I barely held in my laughter. That week, I got a mass email from the HOA office closed due to unexpected water damage. I deleted it and went about my day. But Brenda wasn't done. Next, she tried to slap me with violation notices for every petty thing she could find. Mailbox tilted, $100. Crack in the driveway, $200. Shutters faded, $150. I paid. But I started keeping records, photos, emails, dates. And then I dug into New York's HOA laws. Turns out they have to follow their own bylaws to the letter. No inventing rules, no singling folks out. I started taking photos of other houses. Henderson's dented mailbox. Peterson's rainbow shutters. Johnson's driveway cracks big enough to swallow a shoe. Not a single violation notice for any of them. I asked for 3 years of meeting minutes and financials. Took them 2 weeks to cough it up. What I found was interesting. Payments to a landscaping company owned by Brenda's husband. Office supply expenses, $500 a month. Money that came in for fines didn't match what was recorded. Now I had more than just a personal grudge. I had evidence. I met up with Marcus and 7 other neighbors, all with similar stories. Fines for fence height, vegetable gardens, work vans. We pooled everything together. Next board meeting, we all showed up, handed out a thick report. Brenda went pale as a ghost. Patricia read through it. Michael looked ready to bolt. Todd whispered furiously. Brenda tried to shut us down, but Patricia pressed. I move we suspend enforcement actions, hire an independent auditor. Vote went through 3-2. Brenda was outvoted. Things unraveled fast after that. The auditor found Brenda had siphoned off about $60,000 faked invoices, overcharged, pocketed fines. In April, the findings went public at a packed meeting. Brenda sputtered about witch hunts. Patricia didn't flinch, moved for her removal and for referral to law enforcement. Vote passed. Brenda was done. Of course, she tried to go out with a bang. filed a lawsuit against me, claimed I'd deliberately flooded the office, wanted $40,000, filed a police complaint for vandalism. I hired Rebecca Santos, tough as nails, knew the HOA game. She pointed out what I already knew: I'd piled snow on my property within the rules, no way to prove intent. During discovery, Rebecca subpoenaed emails goldmine. Brenda had written about making William pay for questioning her, proof of harassment and selective enforcement. Judge dismissed her lawsuit, let our countersuit go forward. Brenda's embezzlement case moved to the DA. In September, she was arrested, grand larceny fraud. Her husband, too. The local paper ran the story. The neighborhood buzzed for weeks. Brenda settled with me $15,000 for legal fees and damages, had to sign a promise never to run for HOA board again. The HOA got a new board led by Patricia. They cleaned house, new bylaws, clear appeals, no more selective targeting, refunded excessive fines. Suddenly, living in Meadowbrook Heights felt normal, friendly even. That next winter, another snowstorm hit. No threats, no fines, just a friendly email. Need help? Here's a list of volunteers. I put my snow in a normal pile, nowhere near any grates. The office had a new drainage system. I ran into Patricia at the grocery store. Thanks for everything, she said. I shrugged. Honestly, I just wanted to stop getting fined. She laughed. Sometimes it takes one stubborn person. Summer rolled around. The HOA barbecue was an actual party. People showed up because they wanted to. Marcus raised a beer, said, "You know, I actually like living here now." Other folks nodded. Someone yelled, "Thank you, William." I about died of embarrassment. Looking back, it all started with a snowstorm and a broken snowblower. If Brenda hadn't pushed so hard, I probably would have kept my head down, paid my fines, grumbled in private. But she did, and I pushed back, and a whole lot of folks got their neighborhood back because of it. Justice took its sweet time, but it showed up. Last winter we got another blizzard. I cleared my driveway, no drama, no stress. The new neighbors in Brenda's old house stopped by, nervous about the HOA horror stories. "It's good now," I told them. "Just follow the rules, and if you ever get trouble, talk to Patricia." Sometimes petty revenge sets bigger things in motion. Sometimes doing what's right means documenting every little thing, sticking to your guns, and maybe building a giant snow pile in just the right place. I never regretted a second of it. Not the hours lost, not the money spent, not the headache of fighting back. Because now, for the first time since I moved in, this really is home. So here's my question for you. Where do you draw the line between standing up for yourself and letting things slide for the sake of peace? Ever had to take on a bully with nothing but your own stubbornness and a little luck? Tell me what you'd have done in my shoes, or better yet, share your own HOA war stories. Maybe there's a lesson in here about how justice isn't always quick or easy or even pretty. But sometimes when the snow finally melts, you get to see what's really been buried underneath. And honestly, that's worth more than a clear driveway any day.